Hello all. So here's a simple question. What happens if the United States wins in Syria? To figure that out, first you have to know what the US government actually wants, which is not what it says it wants. Humanity's priority in Syria is defeating ISIS. Washington, D.C.'s priority is defeating Assad. So, let's say it somehow all works out. Let's say that both ISIS and the Assad regime have fallen. What would that look like? Who would be in charge? The Kurds are nice. They aren't religious crazies, and they may be the only people in Syria who are fully committed to fighting ISIS. But they're not interested in taking much non-Kurdish territory, and they're also allied with Assad, which nobody likes to talk about. Once ISIS is gone, they are more likely to shift their focus to fighting Turkey, which involves a number of nightmarish possibilities. Yikes. Moving on. The United States government uses the term moderate opposition a lot. This seems to apply to anybody who isn't actively affiliated with ISIS or Al-Qaeda this week. This is really dumb. These groups change names and affiliations all the time. There are still individual villages and neighborhoods that are controlled by less religious Sunni rebel forces, in the south of the country especially. But the majority of rebel territory is taken and controlled by radical Sunni Islamic fundamentalists. There's a very simple way to understand this that the typical Syria control maps leave out. Syria is divided into 14 governorates. To date, the Syrian opposition has only managed to take 4 of the least populous provinces. Hasaka is mostly controlled by the Kurds. ISIS has controlled Raqqa and Deir ez-Zor since 2013. The opposition's greatest victory came in 2015, when they took the capital city and most of the province of Idlib. This was done by Jaish al-Fatah, a moderate opposition group made up almost exclusively of Al-Qaeda affiliates and a number of other groups that want to turn Syria into a Sunni Islamic state. Many of these people fought against U.S. soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. Most of them are not directly affiliated with a terrorist organization today, but who cares? Just because they're focused on Assad now doesn't mean they won't be focused on Iraq or Paris once he's gone. Al-Nusra, one of the most powerful groups, has just announced that it is no longer affiliated with Al-Qaeda. Once again, who cares? Al-Qaeda's leader, Ayman al-Zawahiri, fully endorsed the split, which should make it clear that this is just a PR exercise. For the past 5 years, the Western governments have been hosting a bunch of high-level Syrian defectors in places like Istanbul and Geneva. These guys are mostly secular-ish and kinda pro-Western. The US says these guys are gonna take over after Assad. That's ridiculous. Assad's regime will be taken down by Sunni fundamentalists, and they won't have the slightest bit of interest in signing the country over to a bunch of folks who have spent the past 5 years manning laptops. These guys want a caliphate, not a puppet government. These are the guys that the US government wants to give Syria to, whether they admit it or not. What would that look like? Well, they'd want a strict Sunni Islamic state, and they'd want revenge against the Alawi, Shia, and Christian populations that have been fighting against them for the past 5 years. How do you think that would go? We got a preview in May of 2016. The rebels took an Alawi village named Zara. Assad, Syria's leader, is an Alawite, so they killed 19 of the villagers. This is not an isolated event. A couple weeks back, Jaish al-Fatah reopened a road to Aleppo. This was widely celebrated in the Western media. A significant part of the battle was named after Ibrahim El-Youssef, a famous mass murder of Alawites. Syria has tons of religious minorities, including almost 2 million Christians. As the revolution has gotten more violently Sunni, these minorities have become more committed to Assad. If he falls, Ted Cruz in Poland will finally get all those Christian refugees they asked for. Assad is an evil bastard. If there was one Sunni fundamentalist group to deal with, then at this point, maybe dealing with them would be the right thing to do. Centralized power could keep massacres from happening, or at least keep the ethnic cleansing mostly non-lethal. The problem is that that central power does not exist. Assad is currently making great strides in the Damascus suburb of Ghouta. This is because the two Islamist militias holding the area are more interested in fighting each other than they are in fighting the government. Northern Syria is still divided between ISIS and the rest of the Sunni radicals, as it has been since 2013. This infighting between rebel groups has killed tens of thousands. A little noticed fact of the Syrian civil war is that a lot of the country still kind of functions. These are the parts that are run by Assad. Government areas have absorbed many of the over 6 million internally displaced refugees. Most of the almost 5 million Syrian refugees that have left the country come from rebel-occupied areas. Giving Syria to the rebels will mean more refugees, not less. Giving more territory to the rebels will mean more land, power, and money for people that hate us. So that's what Washington, D.C. is currently fighting for. More refugees and more terrorism. Why is nobody talking about this? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And if you'd like to help me make more videos like this one, please click on the Patreon link here to find out how.